Welcome to the Doggy Style Podcast, where self-development meets animal wellness, with your host, myself, Kelsey Kyle. My mission is to create content that brings people healing through animals. When I found my love and passion for dogs, and most importantly, started to take action to help them in my own way, this is when my whole life changed and my path to self-development really began. I'll be sharing all the tools that have helped me throughout the years, from finding my passion and pursuing it, overcoming OCD, anxiety, coming out of the closet, and honestly, the list goes on. Some weeks I'll be interviewing guests to open up new perspectives, and other weeks I'll just be diving in solo. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode, and connect with me by leaving a rating or a review, or follow me on Instagram at Kelsey W. Kyle. And in true Doggy Style fashion, all of the episodes will be honest, raw, authentic, and absolutely no topics are off limits. If it's something I feel more people should be talking about, I promise you will find it here. Hey everyone, I'm so happy to be talking to you again. This stuff is like therapy for me. And if it's helping anyone listening, even just one person, then damn, that's really cool. And obviously I hope it's more than one person because I want to help as many people as possible in every area of my life. It's kind of like a newfound passion of mine. It's definitely not how it used to be. I did not always want to help as many people as possible whenever I can. Definitely a new feeling, and it's a really, really cool feeling. But anyways, I hope you're all doing well and loving yourselves and loving others every chance you get, because that's what life is all about. That's all it's about. And I think when we all pass away, or I guess I'll just speak for myself, I think when I pass away, I think love and connection with others is the only thing that I'll miss, the only thing. And I think that's going to be the case for everybody. I think we'll miss hanging out, spending quality time with people that we love, people that make us feel good. Have you ever hung out with someone or a group of people and left feeling kind of shitty? just not good, feeling kind of empty? I definitely have. And have you ever hung out with someone or a group of people and left feeling more alive, just feeling good in every way, just feel more full? I definitely have experienced that one as well. And that right there is the key to life, or one of the keys to life. Follow the people that make you feel good inside. Follow the people that make you feel good about yourself. The other weekend, my partner Paige and I were hanging out with 3 really good friends who we love so much. And we're all just hanging out, drinking hard kombuchas on one of our friends' boats. And that night, I saw Paige laugh harder than she has ever laughed before. Like, for sure, 100%. That was definitely the hardest she has ever laughed in her entire life. And then I was just in awe watching her, and I thought to myself, whoa, if you want to be happy, just follow the laughter. Follow the people, follow the experiences, follow the energies that make you laugh, that make you smile, that make you enjoy the freaking moment we're in. Because that's all that we have. That's all that's guaranteed to us, is this exact moment. There's this moment, then there's another moment, then another, then another, then another. That's it. That's all there is. Crazy. Also, I feel like laughing, being present, being peaceful, reverses all the bad shit that worrying and stressing does to our body. So, think about that. Pretty cool. And if you surround yourself with people you love, with really good, authentic people, you'll never fail. You won't have to worry because you know that you'll have your back too, but you know that they'll have your back no matter what, unconditionally. So live in that. Live in that love. Don't run away from it. If you run away from anything, it should probably be the people who, when you leave, you feel off. You feel empty inside. Be aware of these people, because who you hang out with, you become. And I definitely don't want to become someone who makes people feel shitty when they leave me. I want to be someone who makes people feel safe, feel happy, feel confident when they leave me. Also, not the way it's always been for me. Alrighty, on another note, but not even really, because everything's very much connected. Everything. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about love and compassion and how it connects to literally everything we do, even our diet, what we eat, and how what we consume is so crucial to our overall health and well-being. And when I say consume, I mean everything, not just what you put in your mouth. So I've eaten meat all my life. I've literally, I've eaten everything all my life. As long as it tasted good, I was like, give it to me, thanks. And about 2 years ago, I decided to start eating vegan. Becoming vegan was heavily in my space for about 2 or 3 months before I finally took the leap. You know, when you like have something in your mind that you know you should do, you just know, but it takes a while to finally listen and just do it. Well, that's exactly how it was with me becoming vegan. So I was going back and forth about committing to being vegan because when I start something new, I don't really like to just take it day by day or meal by meal in this case. I like to commit to at least one straight week of whatever that thing is, so I can truly see and feel if it's what I want, if that's what my body wants, if that's what I and my body need to thrive. And I was so scared because I don't know, it's different than what I was used to. I thought it would be super hard to make the switch, and it's so crazy because one day after all this back and forth and indecisiveness in my mind, one day something just clicked. Something just hit me physically, emotionally, spiritually, in every way. I just knew it was time. And I just knew it was time to eat vegan. It's just crazy. And man, I love it when that stuff happens. It's like the ultimate download. So thank goodness I listened, because when I finally did, my body felt better. I lost some weight, and I definitely wasn't trying to lose weight, but it just naturally happened without me even thinking about it. So obviously it was extra weight, extra space that was just waiting to be let go of, waiting for my body to just release it, let it go. And I also had more energy, so much energy. My skin was clear. I guess I can say my skin is clear. My mind is clear. I became more of things I no longer wanted in my life, like patterns of OCD, patterns of anxiety, and I was more aware of more things that I was passionate about, and I wanted to spend more time doing those things. And when I think back about all of this, it blows my mind, but also it's like, duh, of course this is happening. In our bodies, in our tissues, we hold memories, we hold traumas, and animals do the same thing. So if you take a second and think about what traumas are held in the tissues of the animals we're eating every day, you can really start to understand how terrible it is for us in so many different ways. And when I cut out meat altogether, I immediately felt a difference. I'm talking a day. One day of eating no meat, I felt a difference. Everything we consume, news, TV shows, movies, what we read, who we're spending our time with, podcasts we're listening to, all of it makes such an impact on us in so many ways. Next time you watch that scary movie or that depressing ass show, notice how it changed your mood, changed your mindset. And once you become more aware of what makes you feel better, what makes you feel worse, and so on, it becomes a lot easier to choose the choice that is best for you, best for your body, and best for your mind. So what we consume physically, what we are putting in our mouth and literally forcing our bodies to digest and work through, I know I want to make sure I'm choosing wisely what I'm forcing on my body. Not to mention the fact that the food we eat is just living in there until it's fully digested. And just so you know, animals take about 8 hours for our bodies to digest. That's a long time. Whereas plant-based foods, greens, beans, quinoa, nuts, seeds, etc., takes anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 hours to digest. And digesting food takes a lot from our body. It takes a lot of energy to digest our foods. That's why my energy just skyrocketed the day I started to cut meat out. And like, say, post-Thanksgiving dinner, when you ate too much turkey and stuffing, aren't you really tired? I know I've done that way too many times, even though it's the grossest feeling. But that's just an example. That's just an example of how much energy it takes to digest the foods we're eating. So why not give your body a break every once in a while? Go for that veggie burrito rather than that chicken or steak burrito. Small changes like that are huge, and you will feel a difference if you pay attention. And everybody's burning question whenever vegan diets specifically are being discussed is, how do you get your protein? I don't know, maybe from vegetables, lentils, beans, avocado. There are other places to get protein, you know, like for real. For example, 3 ounces of ground beef has 22 grams of protein, while 1.5 cups of black beans has 22.5 grams of protein. So a little bit more protein in the black beans in those ratios. So maybe try that black bean burger rather than that beef burger every once in a while. Plants really do have all the protein we need with none of the violence. There's also an energetic imprint that's associated with meat, and the more we eat, the more likely we'll be associated with that energy. For example, when an animal is slaughtered, it's an extremely traumatizing environment, and there's so much fear coming out of these poor animals, and they're in such a stressful state. And when they're killed, they do dump a ton of adrenaline, and they also imprint their emotion into their body. So these emotions go right into the meat we eat. So the energy is still there, it just takes on a different form. Energy doesn't just disappear, it has to go somewhere. First, the energy is in the living animal, and now the animal is dead, but that energy is still alive in a form of dead flesh. And there's an energetic imprint in that flesh that we're all consuming. So we're consuming fear, stress, adrenaline. We are literally taking on the emotions of that animal. That's why eating meat consciously is a wonderful step in the more compassionate direction. Like making sure the cow, for example, was grass-fed, free-range, etc. And that is obviously so important. More humane and better treatment of animals is one of my main missions in life. And I love that we now have these options at restaurants and grocery stores, and that the treatment of these animals in our factory farms are being spoken about more, so we're more aware. But when it's time for them to be slaughtered, these animals aren't happy. They're scared out of their minds, and they have no idea what is going on, and that energy is what's in our meat. And in turn, fear, anxiety, adrenaline, high stress, depression are all side effects from eating it. I don't know about you, but I don't need any more fear or anxiety in my life. I already have enough to deal with every day, all day. So whenever and wherever I could eliminate this and add the opposite, add life, add love, add compassion, I will, every single time. And on another note, grass-fed doesn't mean much. Grass-finished is what is important. So if you're trying to eat meat more consciously, look for grass-finished. These companies can feed a cow grass once and label them as grass-fed. But if it's grass-finished, that means the cow ate grass their whole lives. So choose grass-finished, please. Also, I want to talk a little bit about hunters, people who hunt the meat they're eating. They hunt them themselves. Not only do they hunt their meat, they also clean and cut it as well. And honestly, I have lots of respect for these people. That's the natural, organic way to get and eat your meat. That's how it used to be done. Whereas most of us just grab a few steaks at the grocery store, order that burger at our favorite restaurants. But hunters are putting the work in, and that shit takes some work. If you ever met a hunter, ask them about their process. It takes patience, it takes skill, and it takes a lot of energy. And if these hunters are doing it the correct way, they're just shooting one shot and the animal is dead. No fear, no suffering. This is the opposite of what's going on at our factory farms. I'm so happy because now there are a lot of reputable scientific studies out there to help us better understand the power of energy. Dr. Emoto, also known as the water doctor, proved that even thoughts and words have energy. He showed the impact our emotions can have on water. Yes, water. Crazy. So he took water and put it into two separate jars. He labeled one, "You're disgusting, I hate you," and labeled the other one, "I love you, you're beautiful." Then he took a drop of water from each jar, froze them, and then examined them both with a microscope. And what he found was that the water with the negative label saying "You're disgusting, I hate you" was all fragmented and messy and just ugly looking. And the other one that was positive and was labeled "I love you, you're beautiful" looked super pretty and clear, kind of like a crystal snowflake. So if our thoughts and words can affect water, and humans and animals are 70 to 80% water, can you imagine the impact of actually eating these negative and toxic emotions? Damn. Another real cool exercise that was done showing how much energy affects us. I heard on a podcast with this guy, Tim Coleman. He's pretty big in the holistic health space. He was in a class with about 40 people, and the instructor asked for a volunteer. Then he asked the volunteer to wait outside of the room, and then the instructor told everybody in the class that let's call him Joe, when Joe comes back, I'll have him face me and I'll have my back to you. And when I hold up one finger, think negative thoughts about Joe. Think, "Joe, I hate you, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're disgusting." And when I hold up two fingers, send him so much love. Say, "I love you, Joe, you're awesome, you're so smart." And I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is all in your head. Think this all in your head. So Joe comes back in, And the instructor does some basic muscle testing on him, making sure all his limbs and his muscles are working properly. Then the instructor holds up one finger to the audience, and he has Joe hold up his arm full strength. And the instructor is easily able to push it down. Not hard at all. And Joe's arm just goes limp. And Joe's like, what the fuck? What's going on? And then the instructor then puts two fingers out to the audience, and they do the same exercise, and Joe holds his arm out, and the instructor pushes it down hard, and this time Joe's arm stays strong and sturdy. This is the effect our thoughts have on others. Once again, if our thoughts, not even our spoken out loud words, have this strong of an impact on someone else's body, just imagine the impact of physically consuming and digesting these negative, toxic emotions. So when we're broadcasting hate in whatever way, even in our minds, we're physically weakening our bodies. Not to mention all of the negative effects that must be happening internally as well. Like obviously, if our arm strength is being compromised inside, our chemistry is changing. We're producing more acid, which will then create a plethora of other issues as well. So next time you're judging someone about whatever the hell, think twice. Maybe choose to send some love and compassion instead. Especially if they're pissing you off. It'll be better for both of you and the world. Because now we know if sending out hate and negativity to others has such an impact on that person, that's definitely not benefiting either of us. Because what we are putting out, we get. And can you imagine what it does to our minds and our bodies when we judge ourselves? We all need to be more gentle and more loving. And it truly, truly starts within, starts with ourselves. I get so frustrated sometimes when I hear about or see online something about someone no longer being vegan for whatever their reason is, and there's an immediate backlash from vegans, from the vegan community, and they're just shitting on these people for going back to eating meat. So the vegans, are just projecting hate and judgment on this person just because they're no longer vegan. When I see that, I feel like they are missing the entire point of what veganism even is. And what it means, what it resembles to me is compassion, love, and connection and awareness. Being aware of exactly what we're putting in our bodies and aware of the impact it has on the planet. So if you're vegan out there and you're shitting on people for not being like you, please stop. You're missing the entire point. Ugh. And then, of course, it's about the love, the respect, and the treatment of animals as well, of course. That was my first draw towards being vegan. Maybe weeks or so after I found my deep, deep passion for dogs, I then thought, what the hell is the difference between my 3 dogs and the cows and chickens that are getting slaughtered all day, every day for their bodies so that I can eat them? It just didn't feel right anymore. And I know that when I finally connected all the dots and stopped eating meat and most processed foods as well, and all fast foods in general, I know that my depression, my anxiety, my bad moods all sort of started to just subside. And now it makes so much sense because whatever abuse these animals incurred is going straight into me. And if you're an empath, then damn, game over. Or I guess game harder rather. You're going to have a lot more shit to work through. It's pretty confusing to me when someone who eats meat on a daily basis will spend the time to rehab a squirrel back to perfect health, or a bee for that matter, you know what I mean? But while that sort of infuriates me, because I don't know, do you have any awareness? But at the same time, it also shows me that there's hope, that people do love, they do care for animals, they really do. And they're doing it in their own ways, and that's perfect. That's so perfect. And also at the same time, this is kind of harsh, but whatever, we're going to go for it. I sort of feel like eating meat, not any meat, but specifically animals from factory farms, which unfortunately is majority of the meat available to us, is kind of like knowing your best friend's boyfriend is beating her and you are doing nothing about it. And also at the same time, I know that some people really actually need meat in their diets to thrive, and also to survive sometimes. For instance, my mom has to have animal protein every once in a while, or she just won't feel right. She just won't have much energy, and supplements and more veggies just wouldn't do the trick for her. So she literally has to eat animal protein to feel good and to feel strong. And some people are anemic, and it's much easier for the body to absorb iron from meats than from vegetables or other foods or supplements. So they gotta eat meat because that's what their bodies need. And honestly, this is what it's all about. It's not about being vegan. It's not about being a carnivore, or being a pescatarian, or being a vegetarian, or anything in between. It's about listening to our bodies, really tuning in and giving our body what it needs to not only survive, but to thrive. And everybody is different. So let's honor that and celebrate that and listen to that. For me, I've been all of the above, and hands down in all the ways, I thrive when I stick to a plant-based diet. And I learned this from just listening to my body. It just took a while to listen because my mind was trying to catch up. If you ever watched Discovery Channel and watched any of the big cats, so tigers, lions, jaguars, they will leave the muscles of their prey for the hyenas because they only want to eat the good stuff, which is the gut area of their prey. There'll be like 6 of them, and they're all surrounding the gut of the animal they're eating. It's just instinctual. They know what their body needs, so they eat that and they leave the rest. Let's all be freaking boss like lions and jaguars and panthers. What's your spirit animal? I think if everyone tuned into their spirit animal every once in a while, this world would be even more awesome because we'd all be more tuned in, more present with our bodies, with our minds, with our surroundings, and only taking what we need to thrive and leaving the rest, just like lions do. My spirit animal is definitely a lion. They leave what they don't need, and then the hyenas are able to come and feast on the lion's leftovers. That's nature. That's how everyone gets what they truly need. That's balance. Also, most of the time, what is good for us is also good for the planet. When we eat stuff that's bad for us, it's usually also bad for the planet. For example, again, factory farming. Those animals and the way they're being treated is so harmful to our bodies, to our vibrations, to our feeling of health. It's like death and sadness and scarcity and disease. So we're taking on that vibration, and also, ding, 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 factory farming is also one of the biggest contributors of carbon poisoning on our planet. And honestly, I believe, and there's a lot of evidence out there pointing to this as well, that there's really no reason why our next zoonotic pandemic won't come from our factory farms. Zoonotic meaning a disease that's spread between animals and people. People, me, I've done this, point fingers and put blame on these wet markets in China, which some, me also, believe this is the strand of the coronavirus, COVID-19, that we're all dealing with now, first began. But what we are doing in factory farms right now all over our country is no better. If anything, it's worse because of the scale we are producing at. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this woman, Rainbow Mars, she's in the holistic healing space as well. She was speaking on diet, and she said, do you want to be toasted, dead, fried, cooked, baked, and burned out? Or do you want to be live, fresh, beautiful, radiant, colorful, and taste good? So perfect, because we really are what we eat. So this episode is not about being vegan. It's about putting a little bit more love, more compassion, more presence, more peace, and more awareness into everything we do because it matters. It matters so much on so many levels. And let's send people love when you pass them on the street. Don't send them judgment. Don't even send them sadness. They don't need your pity. What they need is your love so they can be lifted. That's what will help them. I don't know what it is, but when I'm driving and I see like an elderly person slowly making their way across the street, I feel so bad for them, as if I fucking know them, as if I know for fact that their life is shit, when in reality, they might be the happiest mother fricker on this whole planet, just taking a stroll, doing their thing. Who am I to send them my shit, send them my sadness and sorrow? For what? Instead, no matter what, I will send them love. I'll send them so much love because everybody can use more love. That's fact. Fact. Speaking of love, I love you all so much, so much, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please share with a friend if you think it could help them. If you can please leave me a rating and review, that helps so much. And if you want some more of my content, you can check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kelsey W. Kyle, or follow me on Instagram at Kelsey W. Kyle, KELSEY WKEIL. Thank you so much. Peace.